Hello students, welcome to Soros's classes. Here I'll be solving the following question from ISS 2017 paper 4. Now here we have to explain the Pearl and Reed method of fitting the logistic curve for population projection. Now the logistic curve. The foundation of logistic curve theory. The foundation of logistic curve theory. It was led by Quitlet in 1835, and he said that the growth of population tends to slow down with the increasing density of population. So he said that growth of population tends to slow down with increase in density of population. With increase in density of population. This idea of logistic curve, it was also given by Verhulst in 1838. So it was also given by Verhulst in 1838. However, this idea was not recognized, or it was not given any recognition, and it was Raymond Pearl and Lowell Reed who popularized this idea of logistic curve theory of population growth. Who popularized this idea, or this logistic curve theory, this logistic curve theory of population growth. Now, there were certain, according to them, that is according to Pearl and Reed, there were certain assumptions of logistic curve theory. So the assumptions of logistic curve theory, they are, first one is that the population grows in a finite area. So the first one is that the population grows in an finite area. Next is that the rate of population growth cannot be infinite. The rate of population growth cannot be infinite. And third is that the lower limit of population cannot be zero. Lower limit of population, it cannot be zero. Lower limit of population cannot be zero. Cannot be zero. The next one is that the point of maximum rate of growth is the point of inflation of population growth curve. The point of maximum rate of growth is the point of inflation of population growth curve is the point of inflation of the population growth curve and after that point the rate of growth becomes progressively slower until finally the curve becomes nearly horizontal. So after that is after the point of inflection, the rate of growth it becomes progressively slower till it finally becomes nearly horizontal. So the four assumptions in the logistic curve theory is that the population grows in a finite area. Next is the rate of population growth cannot be infinite. Next is the lower limit of population cannot be zero. And the fourth one is the point of maximum rate of growth. The maximum rate of growth is the point of inflection, after which the rate of growth it becomes progressively slower till it finally becomes nearly horizontal. Now, given the following assumptions, the population rise or fall, it is in the form of a cycle, and the changes that occur in population growth are obviously circular. So this population rise, it is in the form of cycle. It has different stages. So population rise or fall, this has different stages which comes in a circular trend. So the population rise or fall, it differs at various stages which are circular or which are in the form of a cycle, Now the first stage is that when the country is in state of backwardness due to high birth rate and high death rate. So when the country it is in a state of backwardness so when the country is in state of backwardness due to high birth and death rate, so high birth rate and high death rate, the growth of population will be stationary at the low level. So since both birth rates and death rate, they are both very high, so the growth of since the birth rate and death rate, they are both very high, so the growth of population will be stationary at low level, Next is, that is in the second stage, in stage 2, when the birth rate remains unchanged as in the first state but the death rate falls. So here the population will increase in a rapid rate. So in stage 2, birth rate remains same or remains unchanged, but death rate it falls. So the population increase at rapid rate. So the population increase at rapid rate. Now in the third stage, that is in the stage 3, with the fall of death rate, birth rate will fall too. So both birth rate and death rate will fall, so the population will increase in a decreasing rate. So both birth and death rate will fall. So population the population it will increase at a decreasing rate. So population will increase at a decreasing rate. In the fourth stage, that is in the stage 4, both birth rate and death rate will be low and match each other, so the population will not grow, that is it will almost become stationary. So here both birth and death rate they will be low and will match each other So the population will not grow, that is it will almost become a horizontal line or stationary. Population will not grow. So these are the 4 stages that occur in a population growth. Now this is the graphical representation of logistic growth curve. Now as we can see that this A to B, this is the logistic curve, which shows that between the time period of x1 to x2, so between the time period of x1 to x2, then between the time period of x3 to x4, in these time periods the increase in population, it is slow, whereas so here the increase in population, that is x1 to x2 and then x3 to x4, here the increase in population is slow. Increase in population is slow, and in the time periods of x2 to x3, that is this time period, and x4 to x5, here there is, that is the increase in population is at rapid rate. So increase in population or population increases is at rapid rate, and between x5 to x6, that is in this period, the population is stationary. Population is stationary. So between x5 to x6, the population is stationary. So this is the Pearl and Reed method of fitting the logistic curve for the population projection.